be earlier than J and L. K must be released earlier than J. Oh, didn't give myself enough room here. Okay, F is before J and L. K is before J. Did we link these together? I hope so. It would make this easier. J must be released earlier than H. Okay, so H is going to come after J. L must be released earlier than G. Wow. They all link together. Right? Is that everybody? Yeah, that's everybody. So a couple quick inferences that we can make. Who can be last? G and H, right? Mm-hmm. So G or H. Who can be first? F or K. Mm-hmm. So those things are worth noting at the beginning of these kind of ordering games. Okay, question 5. Which will find if substituted for the condition that F must be released earlier than both J and L, okay, would have the same effect. Okay, F has to be earlier than J and L, so we're going to go ahead and come in here and get rid of this right here. I'm not going to circle J and L because they are still connected to other variables and they're very much a part of this chain. One thing about this is now we've severed LG from KJH, right? Okay, now, too strict or too loose? A, only K can be released earlier than F. Only K can be released earlier than F. So, K comes before F. What do we think about this?
It could happen. No?
It certainly could happen. Is this a good replacement for... Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I misread the rule. Only K can be released earlier than F. That means everything else has to come after F. Oh. Should have read a little carefully, more carefully. Yeah, that's true, right? That's probably the answer, actually. Okay, well, let's take a look at the others just for the sake of trying to figure them out. B, K must be released earlier than L. Is that something that is true? Just curious. No, it's not. K could come after L, so this is too strict. It also doesn't address F, so this is out. C, F must be released earlier, either first or second. F has to be first or second? Was that true? Well, F does have to come before all of these, so that means F can't be 1, 2, 3, 4. So F does have to be first or second. So this is not too strict. It's imposing something that was true before. What is the problem with this setup? Who could come in front of F, even if F has to be first or second? K, which is true before, but now there's someone else. L. G couldn't, because if L was first, then G would be second, and then F couldn't be first or second. But even if we say F has to be first or second, L could slip in and come before F.
But I thought F had to be before L.
Yes, but remember, everything in the red, we've gotten rid of. And we're trying to find a replacement for that. And so this rule, answer choice C, F has to be first or second, would not be a good replacement. In other words, it's not too strict, but it's too loose, because it allows things to happen that couldn't have happened before. Catherine, do you see that? You feel good about that? Okay. Are you not sure how this is?
I was confused when you said F has to be before J now, but like I get it.
Oh yeah, so that was the original rule, right? Yeah, and so we've gotten rid of that. So now F is floating around, and we want to basically force F to come before these two again. And if you tell F to be first or second, that was true before. F had to be first or second, because F had to come before everything except K. But even with that rule, I could put F second, and I could put L first, because if the only thing I say is F has to be here or here, the rules that remain are K, J, H, and LG. In other words, I haven't replaced these two bars yet, right? And so under this, if this is answer choice C, right? This is answer choice C. So if I add this to the rules, and these are the rules I still have to work with, notice how L could come right here. And then that would violate the rule that F has to come before L. So this answer choice doesn't go far enough. Okay. Answer choice D. F must be released earlier than both K and L. Ooh, what's wrong with this?
New requirement.
Yes, this is too strict, right? It's telling us F has to come before K. That's not true. F could have come after K. E. Either F or K must be released first. That is true. That is true. Why doesn't this go far enough?
It leaves J before H and L before G to flow.
Yeah. F or K has to be first, but let's say hypothetically that K is first. F is now free to do whatever it wants. So it could come after J, H, L, G, whatever. So this is too loose.
So we just act like that rule doesn't exist anymore?
We act like it doesn't exist, but we want to recreate it. And answer choice A does that because by saying only K can be released earlier than F, you're saying the only one who could come before F is K, which means everyone else has to come after F. And that's true. That's going to force J and L and G and H to come after F. And it's not saying that K comes before F, it's just it's the only one who could. All right.
Can you go over, I don't understand why why not A? Like, what's the difference between E and A?
For which question?
For the same rule substitution.
Oh, for question 5?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so E says either F or K must be first, right? So this is answer choice C, answer choice E. Answer choice E says you have to have K or F, but then that's all it says, right? So these rules are still in existence, but this rule is still gone. This is answer choice answer E. Notice that if I say this is true, does F have to come before L? If I say the first slot has to be K or F?
According to that rule, it does.
Yeah, according to that. Remember, that's gone. They're asking us to get rid of that stuff in the red circle and then find an answer choice that's going to recreate it. So the answer choice they gave us right here, answer choice E says K or F has to be first. That's your replacement. You put that into the game. Even if that's true, though, even if K or F has to be first, that doesn't force F to come before L. Because, yeah, if F is first, then it's definitely before L. But what if K is first? Because that's a possibility under answer choice E, right? E says you could have K or F. You have to have one of them, but it doesn't say which one. So if we put K here,
Then F can go anywhere.
F can go anywhere. So this rule right here told us that F is always before J and always before L. So this answer choice, it's not too strict because it's imposing a requirement that was there before. We inferred that K or F has to be first. So it's not adding anything that's not allowed. It's not anything new. It's just not adding enough, right? By saying that this is true, we are complying with something that was already true, but it doesn't go far enough to force F to always come before J and L. Certainly, F could come before J and L, but it just doesn't have to. This rule said F always has to come before J.
So F would just be a floater.
F would just be a floater if K were first, right? Now, if F were first, then the rule would work, but the answer choice E is not telling us F has to be first. It's just saying K or F is first. Are you cool with answer choice A, why it's correct?
I at first glance thought A was right, read the rest of the answers, and then thought E was right.
And then you changed it, right?
Stuck with A.
Yeah, of course. So whenever we're debating two answer choices, and we're not sure, we always pick the wrong one.
Yeah.
It's a general rule.
Can we do number 2?
Number 2. Which one following must be true? Okay, so now we're going to go back to the original rules and we're going to ignore the red circle because that doesn't apply. 2 says They don't give us any clues, so we just have to start going through them. A, F is released earlier than H. Does that have to be true?
Yes. Right?
Boom. Yep. Is there anything you'd like me to clarify? You got it. All right. Other questions?
So you would just pick that and like move on with life.
Move on with the test, with life, with everything.
Okay, can we do 3?
3. If G is released earlier than H, which one of the following could be true? So this is question 3. If G is released earlier than H, what do we know about G and H? We know that, I should move this over, that L has to come before G, right? So I just add that in. Cool. And we know that J has to come before H, so I just add that in. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we know F has to come before J and L, so I would just add that in. F, J, L. And then we have this K coming after, or sorry, before J. So that's our new chain. Kind of a triangle chain.
Okay.
Now, there are some things that we can infer from this. Who can be first?
K or F?
K or F. Who can be last?
H.
H.
Or
That's it. So, which of the following could be true except G is released 4th? Could G be 4th? I mean, it looks like it. We could have 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure. You see how I got that?
mm-hmm.
I just counted up 3 variables that could come before it.
Okay.
J is released 3rd. Could J be 3rd? Well, it has to have 2 people before it,
Mm-hmm.
so it could be 3rd.
Okay.
K is released 2nd. FK. Why not? L is released 3rd. Well, it has to have 2 after it. It has to have 1 before it, but it could be 3rd. As far as I can tell. L is released 5th. How many people have to come after L? 1, 2. So L couldn't be here or here, which means it can't be 5th.
I just don't know how you design like this. Like.
Well, it's you know, it's art. So what did we do? We started with the clue that they gave us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think was GH.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just looked at the diagram and what do I know about G? Oh, L comes before G. Just add it on.
Okay.
Don't try to like outsmart this and figure out how the diagram is going to look before you're finished.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it piece by piece. Say, well, I know L has to come before G. Well, I mean, that's going to be accurate if I add that on. Then I know that J has to come before H, so let's just add it on. And what do I know about J? K and F come before it. Add them on. Same with L. F has to come before L. And then pretty soon you're done. And you're ready to own that question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, other questions? Okay.